Hey guys, welcome back to Six Sisters Stuff. Today I am showing you how to make bread in your Instant Pot. So my name is Kristen. If you are new to this channel, welcome. Every Monday I share a new Instant Pot recipe with you. So if you're new to the Instant Pot or if you've been using it for a while, go ahead and subscribe because it's always fun to have new Instant Pot recipes. Now, last week I told you that I ran a marathon, which I really did. I ran a whole 26.2 miles. It was rough. Now, I have been training for about 6 months and the goal was to qualify for Boston. I had trained hard, I had done everything I was supposed to, and then 2 days before the race, I got the stomach flu. And having the stomach flu before you run a huge race like that is not ideal. The first 5 miles, I was feeling awesome. I was feeling great. And mile 15 came and I hit a wall really hard. So I kind of just made it to the end, which is good. I finished the marathon, but I didn't get my Boston qualifying time. So I got a 3:50. To qualify for Boston, you need a 3:30, so I was about 20 minutes off. But that's what happens with running. Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. So I'll be back. The goal is to get Boston. Hopefully the next marathon goes a little better. So in celebration of finishing a marathon, I am making homemade bread. And of course, I'm making it in the Instant Pot just for you guys. So if you're ready, I'll show you how I do it. So you're gonna start with 2 cups of milk over medium-high heat in your saucepan. Now once it starts to boil, go ahead and take it off of the heat. Next, you're gonna add a 1/2 cup or a stick of cold butter. The trick is using cold butter, and go ahead and put it in and you're going to mix it around until it's all melted and room temperature. Once it's room temperature, you're going to add a 1/2 cup of water, about a 1/2 teaspoon of sugar, and then 2 tablespoons of dry active yeast. So go ahead and mix that around a little bit. Make sure the yeast is kind of incorporated in all the liquid. Now after a few minutes the yeast will start to bubble. That's a good sign and you're ready to move on to the next step. So I'm actually going to use a bread mixer and I'm going to pour the whole mixture into a bread mixture. You can also just use a bowl and your hands if you don't have a mixture. So in that mixture, you're going to add a 1/4 cup of sugar, then add 1 teaspoon of salt right on top. Then you're going to add 3 eggs. Now it's time to turn on the mixer, or if you're using a whisk, you just whisk it until everything is well combined. Then I'm going to add 3 cups of flour and then mix it again. In total, I'm going to be using 7 cups of flour. Now, this is a Bosch mixer. I like it because it can just keep mixing while I add in the flour. But if you don't have a mixer, that is just fine too. You can just mix it by hand and then slowly add in the flour, mixing in 1 cup at a time. Now, when you've added your 7 cups, it's going to be a little bit sticky, but that's okay. We want it that way. So next you're going to go to your Instant Pot and add a tablespoon of oil. I used olive oil, you can use vegetable or canola oil, and then kind of just spread it around a little bit on the bottom of your pot. Then you're going to add your dough, and like I said, it is very, very sticky, and we want it that way. Sticky rolls makes good fluffy rolls. All right, so now that my dough is in there and the oil's on the bottom, I'm going to kind of mix the dough around so the oil will cover all of the dough. Once the oil is kind of surrounding the dough, it won't touch everything, don't worry, but the majority of it surrounding the dough, it's time to turn on the Instant Pot. Now I'm using a glass lid that I got on Amazon. It's not Instant Pot brand, it's just a random one that will fit my pot. If you don't have a glass lid, you can use a plate too. So I'm going to push the yogurt button and then go all the way down to 30 minutes. That's as far down as it goes, but I only needed to proof for 20 minutes. So I'm going to set a timer on my oven so it will keep beeping and reminding me to check it. Once your 20 minutes is up, you're going to take the lid off and you're going to kind of knead your dough just a little bit, just enough to keep moving it around. You can see that it has risen quite a bit in the 20 minutes. So we're going to punch it down, knead it a little bit, and then we're going to put the lid back on, push the yogurt button, and let it rise for another 10 minutes. Now you need to be sure to set the timer somewhere else because the Instant Pot doesn't set for 10 minutes on the yogurt function. All right, while I'm waiting for it to finish, I'm going to put a little bit of flour down, and once the 10 minutes is up, I'll take the lid off and pull out the dough, and it's still going to be pretty sticky. So pull out the dough and stick it on top of the flour. So I put quite a bit of flour down, and then I'm going to flour my hands and put flour on top of the dough so I'll be able to roll it out and make small rolls out of it. Now, if you don't use the flour, it's going to be pretty sticky, so I would suggest using the flour. So I'm going to take my handy dandy rolling pin. This one is actually made out of marble. It's one of my favorite things in my kitchen. And I'm going to just roll it out. It doesn't have to be completely even because they're rolls. It doesn't really matter that much if they're a little off. Now I like to use a pizza cutter when cutting up my rolls because it makes it so fast and so easy. Or you can use a knife if you don't have a pizza cutter. Alright, so I tried to make them as square as possible, and then I'm just rolling in the corners and pinching the bottom so it makes a nice little roll. Now I'm going to cook these on a cookie sheet because I want each roll separate so I can use it for sandwiches. If you want the rolls to stick together, put them close together on a cookie sheet or a 9x13 pan. But because I want them a little bit cooked all the way around, I'm just going to spread them out so they'll cook on all sides. Alright, I'm going to stick these in the oven now and cook them at 450 degrees for about 10 to 12 minutes. Mine took about 10 minutes to cook. And then when you're done, they're nice and crispy on the outside and super soft on the inside. Now this recipe took me about an hour from start to finish, and that is including all of the proofing and the rising and everything with the roll. So if you have an hour of time, you could have homemade rolls done just in time for dinner. Now I love to serve these with butter and jam or butter and honey or just plain butter, but they also work perfectly for sandwiches on rolls for lunches the next day. Now, if you are new to the Instant Pot, I have some great recipes for you. The first one is this barbecue Hawaiian chicken, and then the one underneath that is the top 6 things to make in your Instant Pot. All right, you guys, that's all I have. I'll see you next Monday.